This is a new Nexus, which has replaced the Ultra and the Ultra BC. Fundamentally, it's very, very similar to look at. The main difference is you'll notice the colours a bit different with their new look.
Before we start,
the base is different, but it sits on the same locating points.
So you've got the same option of it being flat and
yes,
also on
yep, so it'll sit on angles, sit flat, it'll fit on the existing wall mount, and it'll sit on the multi-stand as well. So anything will work on this. If you've got a customer that's made up their own stand and they want to use their old stand to the Nexus, yes, no problem, so it'll go straight onto it. Also the brain sits underneath, mounted to the machine.
Oh,
No longer is
it's a lot small.
No longer is this huge big box that's sitting here.
Yeah.
It's already mounted on the machine.
Yeah.
It's connected via the same cable,
Yeah.
but it also runs a Bluetooth system if this breaks.
Oh.
So you can run a Bluetooth.
I was wondering why they were saying what the Bluetooth relevance actually had to it.
I've tried running the Bluetooth. It's not as fast.
Yeah.
It's a bit slower. So I wouldn't recommend using the Bluetooth unless it was you've broken a cable and you still need to keep cutting, whatever.
Yeah.
Software is exactly the same.
Yes.
No difference at all. Internal the machine, you tried another machine to try and push the head, with a finger. It won't work like that. So we're running motors that obviously will run faster. The bearings that run in are linear bearings. So instead of those big roller bearings that used to run inside here, stuff would get caught on it, make it rough. These are linear bearings that use on lathes and mills, which have a wiper seal in front of them, so if anything goes in there, it cleans itself.
Yeah.
So it's fairly low maintenance as well.
So is this the only model with those linear bearings?
No,
Because they're in the Gladius and Maximus, aren't they?
yeah, the newer ones have that. Yeah.
Yeah. And do the newer BCs have the same linear bearings?
BCs are gone.
They're gone. Okay.
Yeah, this is a replacement of BCs. An added benefit, which most of you may or may not have seen problems with the past, the old Valianis from day one up till the Nexus, the heads rotated
Yes.
to get the head out or to change the blade. Problem with that was we'd always break motor wires, catch wires, brake staff. No longer does this rotate. It's solid mounted. So to change the head, it will rotate. The fork comes in this angle here and pops the head off.
so there's enough leeway.
Yep, certainly is.
You don't have to lift it up or anything.
No. When you say head change, it'll rotate.
So does that cute little case come with the machine?
Yes, they do.
For what?
You stick the fork in there.
Cute little case of stuff.
Would that put the box for the head?
Yep. So this box comes with the machine now.
So that's got the tools you need in it and blades,
So
etc.
the fork, your software, your knife, Allen keys, 2 Allen keys, a 3 and a 2.5. You get a little screwdriver here for adjusting for your circles and for your head down. They are found here now on the top.
Yep.
Where on BCs, if you had a circle problem and you had to adjust where it's plunging, it's in the back of the machine, open the door, find a little screw, bit of a pain. It's all found here now. So number 1, number 2. Also on the bottom of the box, put other heads in there. You get your blades, everything like that. So,
Are these still oilless?
yes, correct. Yep, they've been oilless for probably 4 or 5 years with the new valve system. So in here you'll notice there's no oil.
Why are they on there then?
I just buy them in a batch. They come like that. But also some countries, some places where they're going to be, if they're going to be near the sea or something like that, and you want to lubricate the system, then you can lubricate it.
Yeah.
If it's in a nice, clean, dry environment, don't worry about it. You're
Yeah.
fine.
And the old
But if you do put oil in it,
You have to
you will
continue.
need to keep putting oil all the time.
Yeah.
And the word BC is now no longer, everything is button
Because
clamps.
everything's button clamp. In the factory, the tables were manufactured by someone else.
Yes.
It's manufactured in Italy, but not by them. So they would get someone to make a table for the normal clamps, and then they'd get someone else to make the button clamp system, because they thought this was a better way to go. It was costing them too much money in, out, whatever, so now in-house, in their own factory, they just buy the raw material plates, and they do everything in-house. So they machine the one and the one and only, which is the BC. Maximus comes like that, Optima comes like that, all that sort of stuff. They drill their own holes in the table for also the vacuum machines, everything. It's all done in-house. You'll notice there's a new dial system on the top here. This simulates exactly the same setup as what's on a Maximus. So Maximus has an adjustable deck height system on it. If you leave it as it is, it just runs like a normal BC. And what that means is, when it's set from the factory with a number on the top, the head will come down and it will touch the mat board, and the roller will leave a little bit of a dent or whatever, depending on how hard the board is or
Or how thick it is.
the medium.
Or how thick it is.
Or not necessarily, because the pressure set on the top is how hard the wheel touches. So it's always been a fine line with BCs. When it comes down, the wheel will touch the product, and that sets the depth of the blade
Yeah.
and the V-groove and everything like that.
Do these cut 8-ply?
Every machine will cut 8-ply, it's the head that won't cut it. So the only, if you want to cut 8-ply, you need a blue.
Yes, the blue.
It's the only one that will cut 8-ply. Every machine will cut 8-ply, the head won't. This new head setup has been there for about 10 years, and since then it hasn't been able to cut 8-ply. Previously, yes, but there's been little issues. That was the old setup. But these new interchangeable ones, yeah, it's completely different. We'll only cut it 2.2 mil. That's all the green head will do.
And the grey head won't cut 8-ply.
Yes, it will.
Oh, it will.
Yep. Grey head's the 90-degree
Yeah.
straight. Yeah, that'll cut up to 5 mil.
5 mil.
Yeah. Great.
Yep. This machine will cut only up to 5 mil because it won't go underneath the clamps. Maximus V will cut more than 5 because it has a vacuum table and it has an oscillating head which can go deeper than up to 10 mil.
I noticed with the emergency button now.
Yep. So everything is set. Instead of following the head around, you can just hit the button here.
Can you bump into it?
Can you bump into it? No. You actually have to push right in. So with this dial setup here, we can adjust the deck height of where it actually sits. So if you wanted to cut something that's very soft and you didn't want it to dent
Fabric.
a fabric, yep, you can wind this head up or down so it only just touches the product rather than uses the pressure of the whole head.
So you want to remember it, you're going to have to note it and then go to it every time.
Well, from the material database, you can create a setting in the
Right.
system. So,
But that's a manual dial though, isn't it?
this one, well, same as the blade, yes.
But
The
great.
system will tell you
No, I'm talking about the,
this one
yeah.
and this one. They're both.
What, so you're saying just use that
So,
just to get it to the right height?
So like how you have to turn it to like number 8 or whatever.
Yep,
You're
so this is
creating
the
your own
blade
new
depth.
one in there.
yeah, so
and
blade
create-
depth is blade depth.
Yeah.
So for just normal mat boards, whether it's, 1.2 or 1.3 or 1.5 mil, you
So-
need to know what the blade depth is to cut through.
So you set it up based on the softest material?
No, I would recommend to just leave it as normal.
right?
If you're having a problem with material where it's dinting it and running,
Every time you use it, you adjust that manually.
no,
That's what
not
I'm
every time you're using it, like I said, I would recommend you leave it as it is. Don't adjust this one.
Right.
Only when you're having a problem for that mat board, create a mat board material that says, okay, instead of it being on 15, I'd put it on 17.
Yep.
So the wheel is just skimming on the paper, not dinting it.
On that little thing,
On
right?
this one here.
Okay. So then when you've done that, you won't remember that. You're gonna have to put that back to 0. Is what I'm saying. It's
No,
a process.
back to 15. Back to the number it's on.
Yeah. So you've got to bring that always back.
Yeah. Well, in the software it tells you.
Mm.
So when you go to cut, it says put the blade depth on 13, which it
Yeah.
normally does,
Yeah.
and the head depth on
Oh,
15.
it'll give you the head depth then.
Yeah.
It has two
Okay.
different settings.
That's good.
So that's why I said
That should
you
remind
create
you.
a material database for this mat board, and it says, okay, 13 and 17, oh, hang on a second, I've got to remember that. I do that. So it's just something you're looking at, and you're standing around to adjust it anyway, so you would see it.
Where do you put the pen head?
Yeah, well, if you want to come around here, you'll see it.
Oh, I'll come around later.
The pen head is on it at the moment.
Yeah.
It's bolted on the side here.
So it's always on it.
So sorry, can you show me how to change that head? You got sidetracked before.
Yep.
Yeah, Alan, while you're actually changing the head, I do have a question. You said you had to actually put the tuning fork in that way.
Yep.
Is that a necessity, or can you actually do it as is? So if the tuning
No.
fork angle is,
You have to
say,
tell it.
straight,
You will
When the
also have to
machine's
tell it
on.
to turn itself.
When the machine's homed, the head will sit there like that.
Yeah.
okay, so if it's all the people like me, if you were to do it, can you do it right here?
You can?
Yeah. So it won't make any difference. Everything.
No. No.
Okay.
Okay, but before, you used to have to
So
tell
now,
it you're changing the
so now this is in the head change, blade change scenario.
Yeah.
So it's moved though, hasn't it?
It has, yes. So it's come closer and it's moved across, but
So the homing position is up there.
Right. And you can
Blade-
change heads from there or from there.
What do you mean from
You
there?
just actually
It's
the
the same
question.
place.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still the same position, is it? It hasn't turned,
No,
It
it has
does.
to.
yes.
It does.
right?
But what he's saying is, can you do it up there where you can do it, stand on your head if you want to?
No,
Ideally,
no,
yeah.
no.
And John was asking if it mattered because it was in that different position, because you can still get the fork in it.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
it doesn't
is it
matter
going to
where you
damage?
do it,
Is it
home
going
or
to
back.
damage it
No,
by
it's
doing
just
it? And Alan's
easier
saying
and
no.
it's designed to do it from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's an arrow on it to say
Because that is a difference. That is a huge difference.
what, whether it's up there or whether
No,
it's here.
that you don't have. Before you could only do it from when it turned the head for you to do it.
Correct.
Now you don't have. You can. Obviously, you'd prefer to do that.
Yep.
But it's
No
not
one wants to be
necessary.
leaning over the table and do
Yeah.
it there.
Oh, maybe you
Short
don't.
asses.
Yeah.
But anyway, the head is in the right position. There's an arrow to say where to attack it from, where the Allen key goes in.
Now you're still locking it. I noticed that.
You should always lock it. You should always lock it. Head comes out. So fork goes in. The reason why you should always lock this is this slot here
Yep.
slots into a key that's in the head. Now, the tolerance between the key and this slot is very minute, but there is a tolerance.
Yeah.
So if you notice that when you put this in, you can get some twist. And that twist means a lot of different things to a lot of different mats. Hooking, not hooking, starting late, starting early, all sorts of issues. So when you tighten this up,
Just finger tight.
that square, yeah, you don't need to crank it. All it does is that grub
Goes
screw
into the hole.
hits the flat on the key and keeps it locked in one position. There's no tolerance movement at all. That's all.
Can you take it out again? Put it in, take it out again. Because one of the things I remembered with the other way, I was always worried about when you're doing it the way you were doing then, is the blade one cutting your hand and two hitting the
Me
base.
too. Yeah.
Three finger special.
Yeah.
So, what I always, when I'm training people to take heads in or put them out, put your fingers on the green. Never do that, whether you're taking it off or putting it on, because if you drop it, you're going to get stabbed. So
But you
always-
also don't have the room in there to do it without actually cutting your hand. You have a look. Try and grab it from under. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you
can.
don't, yeah.
and you're going to stab yourself even more.
I was going to say that's, but that's a lot more awkward position than before when you were able to
Correct,
turn up
yeah.
and, yeah.
See, exactly that thing. Every time you've done it 3 times, twice it hit the bottom.
Yeah, but you're hitting that board, it's not as if it's...
Say more about
Yeah, but you're still hitting the bottom. No, it's not so much for mine. I just know what customers are going to say. Well, fuck, man, why is it hitting the bottom? That means the wheel might, the roller wheel will probably change the depth.
No. Not that amount of drop. If you dropped it from here to there,
Yeah,
yes.
but you know what customers are like.
I mean, if you're concerned about it, you can just cradle it.
Yeah, that's right. That's fine.
It's just a process thing.
Yep.
But because that doesn't move, you're not going to get broken wires and motor issues and...
Has the servo changed?
Yeah, all the motors have changed as
It
well.
has?
Yeah.
To, what are they using now? Still the Japanese one?
Yeah, there's still a Senyu Denki.
Yep.
They did step away from it at one stage, probably 10 years ago or something to it.
But they were
Chinese
always the
brand.
better ones.
They've come back to the Japanese ones, yeah.
Because that is a selling point, I'll be honest with you.
I'll let the head off at the moment.
I've never used it or known it, to be honest.
Too long.
Shit, yeah. Compared to the Maximus and that, speed-wise,
Maximus is a bit faster again. Libra's faster again. GTO's faster again. Yeah, so the pen head itself is bolted on the side. Doesn't come standard, it's an optional extra.
Oh really?
Yes.
I thought that was the
oh, hang on, okay. So at the time you buy the machine without it, and then you can't buy the pen head later without getting the adapter. Is that what you're saying? Most people buy this, right? And then later on they buy the pen head.
Yes,
Yes.
which clips on,
Right,
which used to clip on.
right. So now there's an
So
additional
now-
part you've got to buy.
No.
No. It's just that because in Italy, like on the Valiani website, it says the pen head is standard.
Yeah.
It says the, that
That's what I read
multi-positional
of it.
standard, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I thought
It was
we
part
were
of
getting
it.
that, which is why this was more
And
expensive.
another customer of mine
Yeah.
rang,
You know,
I thought
yeah.
I was getting that. No, you
Yes,
don't.
so Alan's saying you have to buy the pen head. So as much as it can be, it stays on there all the time,
It's
you've got to
when
buy
it's
it.
like when they advertise, the LTD Falcon, and they show you the best of the best, but on the floor is the GL model.
So this says permanent pen tool, but you have to buy that permanent pen tool as an optional extra.
Well, we just got to make sure we make it now the way we advertise it.
So this is the part here, the Nexus pen tool.
So it's
So
different
the
to the other
pen
pen
tool
tool.
head is
Okay.
completely different to
It
the
is
current
completely,
model.
but it's not.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's not
obviously the other
interchangeable.
one won't.
It's not
yes,
interchangeable.
Right,
It
so
is-
this has its own pen head,
It is solidly mounted,
yeah.
but it's the same setup.
But it has its own independent pen head.
Yeah, come over and
Yes.
have a look.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh, I guess what I'm saying is, it's a new product. The pen head will be an addition
Same as
to our
before.
catalogue.
Exactly the same as before.
It is the same pen head.
I think we're going to be using it as the same one. So when you go, you want a pen tool, you just specify that it's for the next.
Because there's a lot of people,
No, but
alright,
so
yeah,
will
but
that
that's my
Nexus
point.
though work on the other machines?
No,
Like,
but that's, so it
yes.
is a new,
Yes, it's a new product, yes.
yeah, that's really important for me
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Nexus has its own pen tool, which is it's technically another addition, another head we're going to add to our heads.
Yeah, well, actually, we might need to.
Is
Make
this
it
our
in another
marketing,
form.
is this our
Absolutely.
marketing, Damien?
Okay,
Is this
No.
our marketing material?
for today.
Just for today,
Just for
okay.
today.
So,
Also-
are we doing the 5-year warranty?
We don't.
We don't know.
Whoa, I was told the
Valiani
next,
does.
yes,
Valiani
okay,
does.
So
Valiani.
it's up.
Yeah, so
But-
when you buy it, you've got, I think, 30 days
Yes.
where you have to get online and do it yourself. We
Okay.
don't do it.
Yeah.
But
So-
can you imagine selling someone there, then on day 31? I think it's up to the rep to make sure that
How
these
much stuff
guys
do you buy
register.
that you've got to do
Oh, so
online?
No,
then
but
then
I think this
everybody
is
do it.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
They,
think,
Valiani want to know a lot more about everyone's customers, and that's why they're doing it.
so does that then mean, when there's a problem, when they register, we honour that 5-year warranty?
Yep, now,
The reason
if
I
you
asked that,
can,
the
can
reason,
you forward to these guys all the terms and conditions, the warranty?
so, okay, before you go there, because it was interesting the way you said it, you said the Valiani offers it. Well,
Yeah.
why is that any different to
It's
the
factory,
Fletcher?
factory backed.
But the Fletcher is manufactured back.
It's
Yeah.
different, I suppose it's just the same terms and conditions. So you buy a Dyson from Harvey Norman's,
Yep.
you gotta jump on and do your warranty with Dyson, with Dyson to get that.
But with the
you don't do it.
Fletchers, you
Yeah.
don't.
Correct.
Could we help the customer by us, as part of the selling of the thing, once we've done that installation, we as a company register them? The reason I say that, I just know if we're going to rely on them to do it, and when they don't, it's become our problem anyway, and we won't cut it. We won't cut it if we say, well, you didn't do it, that's your problem,
Well,
because all this other stuff that they buy from us is going to be affected. I guess I'm saying is when we go install it, could we, as part of or even the rep, as part of the process, I think we should.
Well, let's say, for example, if we do that,
Yeah.
and we do something, say we put in a serial number incorrectly, all of a sudden that 5-year warranty lands on our head.
Well, I mean, guys,
I know, look, that's extreme.
yeah, you're right, but
But I would
think
agree,
that
I don't
is-
disagree with JC, like when you go and install, if you because you can just get it on the internet through, dongle or,
That's another new thing, guys.
yeah,
With these,
no dongle.
with these computers,
Mm.
they are Wi-Fi set up.
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
So all you need to do is get on your phone,
personal hotspot.
personal hotspot.
I think,
You're up and
in all
running.
honesty, Al, I would probably make that when any installation you do, you
Yeah.
register the warranty
Yeah.
as part of the installation.
Yeah,
Just because I tend to agree with JC, it's like any machine, when a machine goes down, or there's a
that's when
problem,
you find
it
out.
affects, your moulding, which you get 30 or 50 grand every year.
At the moment, a lot of you guys are probably doing the installs yourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that. Or,
But I guess
or
I'm just saying,
in the end.
as a company, we need to make these as, guys, this is part of the
Yeah.
installation process.
Yeah.
This has to happen.
Before we walk out,
Yeah.
after that second day of training or whatever,
I just
either
don't
we've
trust
done
my
it or
customer
they've
to
done
do
it, just the
Yep.
customer, and go like, we don't want it forgotten because
Yep.
then we get problems. But I think that's,
Spec cool. We just need to.
I mean, like say for next, obviously next week is this machine, and it doesn't have a 5-year warranty, but when you go and do the installation and put the program and stuff, you could easily just go, I need you for 5 minutes. We just need to put the warranty in the system.
And realistically, I don't know why it's such a big deal, because we've always just gone off the
Invoice.
sale of the product
Yeah,
from us
invoice.
anyway, so.
But I don't, but
But
because,
Italy have just, it's on them, that's what they're saying. They want all the details, they want it.
but the other way we can look at it is we can always, well, yeah, they'll want it at that time. But that's also handing over our customer base, isn't it?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Valiani probably doesn't.
Yeah, I'll ship directly to you. In the manual itself, something that obviously people have been, there is a little bit, shows you how to do the head lubrication,
Wow. Some actual
Say that
decent
again?
imagery there too.
Sorry,
to do the head,
calibration.
no, the
Lubrication.
lubrication of the head.
So that's
blade
something-
slide, something in the book. And also is in putting the blades in as well, which a lot of people complain about. So just another reason to make sure that people are reading the manual.